Welcome to the Squid Research Lab. Today we'll be looking at a few things related to damage. Over the last few weeks I have been taking an in-depth look at how damage works in Splatoon. Although I understand most of the math behind it, I am still struggling to find practical applications for the data. To get proper results, you must use gear with certain abilities. You will start off using gear with no damage increases, and switch to a set with 1, 2, or 3 main damage ups. No subs will be used unless specified. The first thing to note is that every weapon has a base damage. This number is gathered from looking at a single hit from optimal range. Shooters generally have a low base damage, but fire quickly. Chargers have a high base damage, but require a charge time to reach their full potential. Outfitting yourself with damage ups will increase your dealt damage higher than your base damage. The targets to the left in the test area can be used to show how defense works. One shield will represent one main defense up, 2 shields for 2 mains, and 3 shields for 3 mains. Attacking a target with defense ups will make your damage dealt lower than your base damage. Damage and defense values are linked. One main damage up versus a target with one main defense up will cancel out and deal your base damage value. This applies to 2 mains and 3 mains of each, and most likely applies to subs, although there are no dummies with sub defenses. One thing to note is that 2 damages versus 1 defense will not give the same as 1 damage versus 0 defense. At first glance, it seems like having a little extra damage wouldn't be a bad thing, but once you start to dig deeper, things get interesting. By now we know that the health of an Inkling is 100 points. Dealing 100 points of damage will result in a splat. Every weapon has a certain amount of shots required to splat an opponent. Let's look at the sculpture. Since the sculpture's base damage is 31, it will take 4 shots at optimal range to splat. If you could increase this number to 33.4 or higher, it would only take 3 shots. This seems perfectly plausible, since one main damage up gives about 9% increase, which would be high enough. However, in actuality, the game caps the damage at 33.3, even if all slots are filled with damage ups. This applies to all weapons. The minimum shots to splat cannot be reduced for any weapon. There is a bias here, however. Certain weapons can have their shots to splat increase due to defense ups. The .52 gal can go from a 2-shot to a 3-shot. For the .52 gal, 2 sub damage ups can counter the 1 main defense up. One main and 1 sub damage up will cover up to 2 main defense ups. So far, the only application for damage ups might be to counter defense ups. There is another more obscure use, however, and it comes in an unlikely place: chargers. Since high damage weapons already only take 1 shot to splat, they can avoid the caps. All chargers do 40 when the fire button is tapped. This increases the longer you charge, and then a final bonus is given for a full charge. Increasing your damage through damage up gear makes it so you can charge up less and still get the splat. That's all for now. Catch you later.